to be her.
Lila Kenny, it is so good to be seen and to be heard. I am so happy to be joined by you today doing our CMS final project on High School Musical. How are you doing today?
I am doing so good. I'm actually really happy to be talking about something a little bit more positive and exciting, such as High School Musical, especially for our final.
Mm-hmm. Lila, I thought to get started, we would warm up with a little Two Truths and a Lie about High School Musical, one of our joint favorite movies. Are you ready to play, Lila?
I am so ready.
Okay, so first, Ashley Tisdale originally auditioned for the role of Gabriella. 2, Taylor McKesson was supposed to have her own song. Or 3, Coach Bolton and Miss Darbus were supposed to have a duet, but it was cut for time. Which one is the lie?
I think Coach Darbus. No. I think Sharpay going for... No. Oh, my God. I think Darbus and Coach Bolton having a duet was the lie.
Lila, unfortunately, you are so incorrect. Taylor McKesson was never supposed to have her own song.
Oh.
I don't know why, but I thought that was an interesting fact.
No, because she deserved one.
She deserved one. She was my woman in STEM, okay?
I know.
All right, Lila, why don't you start us off? Give us a little summary for those who don't know High School Musical, as intricately and as detailed as we may know that cult classic.
So, if you're unfamiliar with the movie, which you probably aren't, because I feel like everyone knows a little bit about it, is Troy, a high school basketball star, meets Gabriella, the shy, nerdy girl, on a ski trip, where they are placed to sing a song together for karaoke, both unveiling a musical talent. They then find each other at school, where they are placed in 2 different categories. You can either be a nerd or a jock, or 100 other categories, but you can't go outside of those.
And Lila, you better stick to that status quo, girl.
Stick to the status quo.
But more broadly, let's talk about what the hell was a Disney Channel original movie?
A Disney Channel original movie, they kind of like followed a very specific...
Formulaic.
It was very formulaic.
Right.
They tended to be a little bit more low budget. Like, the budget for the first movie was $4 million.
The first High School Musical?
Yeah, which really, that's like nothing.
Right, and I think, so around that time, in the early 2000s, Disney Channel original movies, they were being churned out every other month. So they would be 6 a year coming out. Think about it, in 2006, along with High School Musical, we got none other than Cowbells, Wendy Wu, Homecoming Warrior, my queen, The Cheetah Girls 2, Return to Halloween Town. All of these, incredible movies. I can't believe these were all released in the same year. And I feel like overall they were pretty recognizable as DCOMs.
No, they definitely were. There was something like somewhat iconic about a Disney Channel original movie. They were a little bit, because they were so formulaic, they kind of like were easy for maybe children to understand.
Right.
Like maybe preteens, like definitely preteens, they're kind of feed into like cliches, like boy meets girl, like fall in love, they're best friends, or something like that.
Right. Yeah, and I feel like overall they were just like pretty recognizable, like you knew what a DCOM was. Just the way that they were shot, the super simple camera techniques that were used, definitely geared towards children and family, for sure. But it was interesting. Some of them, like High School Musical, grew so popular that they became their own franchise, which I thought was just super interesting.
No, that's true, because they did become their own franchise because they were able to make not just one movie, but 3. And, like, if you even, like, kind of... Which is so cool about High School Musical is that they actually, with their franchise, they were able to have, like, a theater release.
Right.
So, like, if you look at the first movie compared to the third one, they're a little bit different, and honestly, the third one probably looks less like a Disney Channel original because it has the production quality that of, like, a theater, like a movie that would be released in theaters.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. And that actually goes right into what I was going to talk about later, which is the idea of film style. So David Bordwell, he was an American film theorist, and he wrote that the pattern use of a medium's technique to communicate plot and theme to generate an effect is what kind of film style is. And when we're talking about this idea of, oh, we know what a DCOM looks like, that's really talking about style. So I thought it was really interesting how recognizable, especially among people in our generation, that DCOMs are. and how they differentiate themselves from other movies. And I think even going back to the budget thing, only being $4 million budget is a huge deal, especially in 2006 when a movie like Devil Wears Prada was released with a budget of $35 million. So like just the difference in budget for these productions is really insane, but you can really tell in the quality of movie you're getting. But as we know now, as it's proven by us doing a podcast about it, obviously High School Musical had a bigger cultural impact on the two of us than The Devil Wears Prada. So where does budget really come in? I think that's super interesting.
You know what is so interesting
What?
about how this movie was such a big franchise with such a low budget is that it's so iconic. Like, if you think about it, well, I guess not if you think about it, but a fun fact is that in Salt Lake City, the second highest tourist attraction is the high school that they filmed High School Musical in.
Okay, and what's the biggest, you know?
I'm pretty sure it's the Mormon Temple.
Okay, so on your way to the Mormon Temple, we stopped by East High, obviously.
Do some singing and dancing.
Absolutely, tap dance down the hall.
You know what's actually really cool too about that like high school is that they had like 7 years ago, because it's been 17 years since High School Musical was released, I believe. They had like a 10-year reunion and all of like the cast members came back.
Oh, that is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I know that school has like a shrine to High School Musical.
No, they
And was it used in the TV show that was just
It
released?
was used in the TV show, and that was like something interesting about the TV show is that it's like aware that the High School Musical was shot in it.
Right.
And then they do the musical on High School Musical.
You know, I think that perfectly wraps up our first episode, Lila, because this idea of this cult classic High School Musical really having effects until today, that show gaining such popularity. Thank you so much for being here with me, Lila. I can't wait to continue this journey with you on our next episode.
Me as well.
What I've been looking for.